everyone, it's Sia,
And I'm Carrie.
and today we're going to be reviewing the movie Batman A Dark Knight. This movie was directed back in 2008 by Christopher Nolan, and this is actually his second Batman film. So, do you want to talk about the story?
So the movie begins with Batman successfully combating crime as usual. And this is going on until a new criminal called Joker comes up.
Yeah.
He's very chaotic and unpredictable, and it's nothing like Batman ever seen before.
Yeah.
So he struggles to balance it out and to catch Joker, and it also distresses and puts him on a high alert.
Yeah.
And it also follows the story of how Gotham was about to redeem itself, and now with the arrival of Joker, how are they gonna do that, and what will happen to the city?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Sia, do you want to talk about the themes of the movie?
Yeah, for sure. So, I kind of want to go over two themes real quick. So, the first one is moral ambiguity, and I feel like it's very obvious, right?
Yeah,
in the
of course.
movie, like as an audience, we see characters and we're like, oh, but like, do they not have any morals? The movie delves into the hesitation and questions beyond one's morals and where they stand in front. And I feel like the line between an act of revenge and an ethical behavior, and also just moral and ethics in general, it's kind of, it is true that it can be ambiguous to some cases, and especially situations where like Harvey Dent, right, is one of the lover.
Yeah.
It's just gone, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it can be controversial, and this is shown through, like I said, Harvey Dent's character. Both physical and psychological transformation of him is very well depicted. So I feel like the nickname that we call him now, the Two-Face, I feel like it really suits him a lot, right? Like, because Harvey was always depicted as like this, oh, like a very justice character. I want to like catch all of the criminals in Gotham City
sure.
and make it peaceful. And all of the sudden, because of a very tragic incident, he turns into someone else, and he does very unethical things. Because like Joker's character, like we know that like he's already an unethical, like a bad character, that we don't really have any expectations for him to be moral and ethical. But like for Harvey's character, because it was such a like a sudden change, that we're like, oh, now we are questioning if that's actually right or wrong.
And I feel like, to add to your point, like, and we see Harvey's character go through that transformation. There's always this like expectation that we have of Harvey, that like he's just going through it at this moment. He doesn't realize he might get better, or that he will redeem himself, but he doesn't. He's way too traumatized from the incident,
it's too late.
and his whole moral system has changed. And I think it's clearly shown at the end of the movie through his dialogues with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and I feel like it's very tragic that one changes that suddenly, and he himself probably is going through like some type of like identity crisis, right? Like with like, because imagine like your whole world changes, and your whole like system that you put up in your brain, like, oh, this is my moral, this is my ethic, this is my line, like he has to go across that and go beyond. So yeah, I feel really bad for him. So yeah, that's something. And the second theme that I want to go over is a social decade. In the movie, actually, like there are like, I think one or two scenes where they depict like the Reaches like gatherings together, like where Bruce Wayne is not a Batman but his actual self, and he goes to like different parties with Harvey, Rachel, and you see before Joker or everyone interrupts that gathering, everyone seems so happy, so like they're enjoying the moment, right? Like there's alcohols, there's music, dancing going around, like they look like they have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but on the other hand, where the, I don't remember their name, but like those like criminal groups,
the mob,
the mobs, they always have some serious topic to talk about, right? And it's regarding illegal things like money and
or killing
people, which is really bad. But like those are their topics. They never go beyond those topics. And I feel like as an audience, as a third perspective, looking at those two big differences, like maybe that's what's leading to a big chaos, right? Nobody, because they don't know each other like that well. Like they're not gonna talk about, oh, like, do you know what rich people are gonna talk about? Yeah, they never know. So I feel like the ignorance of each other, the like, I don't know, I feel like those two big differences are what's leading to a big chaos and conflict. For sure. Yeah, so and I feel like Joker is just like in the middle, where he like, maybe he's like thinking of the same thing as us, like, oh, like it's really tragic to see both, so let me just have all of them come down. So
I feel like as a villain, Joker is the only one of like the main bad characters in the movie who, like, we saw him in both of the settings. We saw him with the rich people gathering, where he first interrupted and wanted to look for Harvey, and like we see them in that environment, and we also see him with the mob when he like interrupts them and like kills the guy, and then he talks to Lau and he's like, oh, you cannot do what you think you can do. Yeah. And I feel like because we see him both, we realize he's involved in both of those worlds. Yeah. And so his presence impacts both of them.
Yeah, and so I guess like this big social, like decay, social status, social roles in the society, like definitely plays a big role. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, in like this chaotic Gotham City. So I think like for me the movie is very successful in portraying those social issues. So it was really interesting seeing those, right?
Just adding a small point to what you said, and I feel like we can see how like people who are lower class or middle class are the ones that are affected most by the crime system. Like we never see people like not like up until Joker, we don't see people like Harvey, Bruce, like Rachel, them getting affected by the mob necessarily. Yeah. It's always the lower class, which shows just how more vulnerable they are.
Yeah. So very great points here. Okay, so it was like there were so many good points that we talked about, and I want to hear your theme.
Okay, so I also have two themes, and I kind of want to brush over both of them really quick. Yeah. The first theme that I have is nature of heroism, and I think this is so obvious in Bruce Wayne's character. Yeah, for sure. I feel like the movie does such a good job at like showing how the sacrifices it takes to be a hero and how much it demands from a person, and like it takes such a huge emotional and personal toll. And this is like again very clear to Batman's character. Like he loses Rachel because he was a hero. Like in the first movie, he first loses her because of like the duality between Batman and then Bruce Wayne. But in the second movie, he actually loses her for real, like she dies, because he was trying to be a hero and do the good thing. Yeah. And I feel like his decision at the end of the movie to take blame for Harvey's actions show his sacrifice for greater good. And I feel like a lot of reasons that Bruce Wayne or Batman could do the things that he did was that he wasn't a typical hero. Like for Harvey's character, I feel like a lot of people saw him as a hero. So like when it came to it, he couldn't do a lot of things. He couldn't make a lot of sacrifices because it would just be too much for him. But for Batman, who's not a typical hero, he's willing to be that person that takes the burden of everything and still continues to do good and continues to form a better life for people in Gotham.
Yeah, and I think those are really good things to talk about. And something is that I feel like when we talk about heroes, we always have some type of high expectation that no matter what your personal issue is, you need to save the world, right? Yeah. And with Batman, and especially this movie where he actually loses Rachel, like she's just gone, and the fact that he doesn't have enough time to grieve her. Like there's no time because everything, Joker is already doing a lot of things there, and Batman knows that he's doing a lot of things, so he has to move on. And I feel like it's just like someone like who's just looking at that movie, like I feel so sad watching the scenes, and I'm like, wow, like maybe
it was so sad. And I feel like in Bruce Wayne's or like Batman's character, when like I could see that, like, for example, I could see that Alfred also like wanted him to grieve properly.
Yeah.
But he knew that he couldn't because he needs to go save people from Joker. But also in Harvey's character, the moments where Gordon comes to him to a hospital and he's like, "Oh, I know like what you went through, but we still need you to stand up and be a hero." And I feel like a lot of times people put this expectation and burden on people that they perceive as hero, is that okay, so because you've been doing this like before, you need to do this now, and they don't actually see them as human beings in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Like kind of more like a just like a figure like a savior, not a human who goes through his own problems. And that was just very sad. And the second theme that I'm also gonna brush over quick is identity and masks. And I feel like this theme is very like explored through the physical masks that the character wear, such as like Bruce Wayne wears the physical mask of Batman, and then Joker also wears a physical mask by painting his face, and also his mask by robbing the bank at the beginning. And I feel like it shows like how they're hiding their true self. But again, to me, it's like, are they actually hiding their true self, or does the mask allow them to be their actual self? Because they don't feel like they have to hide from anyone, and they can because no one sees them anymore, right?
That's such a great point.
Yeah, because like I feel like with Bruce Wayne, like or with Batman, when he is Bruce Wayne, he has this playboy persona that he actually doesn't know anything. He's rich and he's spending his money and he's with girls all the time. But as Batman, I feel like because nobody knows him and nobody has this, oh, this is Bruce Wayne, like nobody can actually say anything about him as a person and kind of like name him, he feels much more comfortable doing actions that reflect his personal thoughts. And I feel like the mask also delves into the like psychological identities that a mind adapts because of the mask. And I want to talk about this, like especially in Joker's case and in Harvey's case. For Joker, he has a clown like mask, and I feel like a lot of times we see him laughing or like just doing ridiculous things, and I feel like that's his mind just adapting itself and like combining itself with the mask. And for Harvey's character, he doesn't have a physical mask, I would say. It's just that when his face gets burned off and we see him, like they call him Two-Face, as you said, and like he has these two sides, we can clearly see like this was his good side, but this is who he is now. And the side that doesn't have his face like features anymore, and the side that was burned off, is like the more dominant side right now, and it's the one that his mind is like, and that's the side that's controlling his mind and his actions.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with Harvey, I feel like especially with Harvey, like after he changed and after, like you said, he put on another mask, like Two-Face mask, I feel like it's so white and black. It's so, there's no gray parts to him anymore. Like he doesn't think the only motivation that has driven him is the revenge. He wants a revenge. He wants to have everything, I don't know how to say, like not back to normal, I guess, but I guess to like maybe back to where Rachel was dying. Like he wants to kill someone so that he can put a blame on, right? And I feel like with the mask, it helps him a lot. Like, I mean, he's not physically putting on this mask, but like we feel like he has one, right? Like definitely. So I feel like you said, maybe it really gives them some type of strength to not really think about the world as it is now. Like I feel like they're just going into some type of world that they have created, and in there it's nothing related to the world.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I want to quickly talk about is when Batman saves Gordon and his family from Harvey, and then Harvey actually falls. Batman changes his face. He like literally goes like that.
He turns it around,
and I'm like, wow. Like, because if we look at Harvey like only that side, we don't know. We can't expect that there's one more side to him, right? Like it just seems like his only aspect is, oh, I'm a good person, like a white knight, right? But like we see that there's a dark knight too.
And I feel like, because when he fell like we see his burn face, and then Batman turns it around. and I feel like it shows that he died as a bad person for his bad actions, but with the help of Batman he's being remembered for his good causes and for his good actions.
And there's so great points. It was really interesting talking about it, so thank you. Okay, so Perry, let's talk about the elements of narrative. Which one did you pick?
So mine is similar to the one I chose in Shawshank.
Yeah.
It's again acting and dialogue, but I feel like in this movie there were so many good dialogues.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And the performances were just really amazing by everyone, so I kind of wanted to go over that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've chosen a few dialogues that I want to explain, and then I'm going to talk about the acting in the movie. The first one is like a very obvious one that Harvey said: "You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain."
Yeah.
And I feel like the fact that Harvey is the one that says this dialogue
very ironic
is so ironic, and it's also really good foreshadowing.
I mean, for sure.
And like I knew when he said this dialogue, I knew it would apply to. I mean, when I first watched the movie and he said this dialogue, I knew it was gonna apply to someone in the movie.
Yeah.
But I never expected it to be him.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it would be like Batman or like Lucius Fox or just anyone in that side, or even Gordon.
Yeah.
But I never thought it would be Harvey because I never thought he would play that big of a role.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it was really interesting, and I feel like it's a really good reflection of his character. Another one is like also again one of the most famous quotes in the movie: "Some men just want to watch the world burn."
Yeah.
That Alfred says it.
Yeah.
And this one, I feel like it's a very true statement when you look at what Joker is doing, and also if you look at the events happening in like the world right now, a lot of times people commit horrible actions just to commit them. Like if you look at it logically, there's no purpose behind them. Like they just want to cause trouble and cause chaos, and this is very obvious in the Joker's case as well. And then I have one last dialogue that I have actually two.
Yeah.
One of them is "Give it to me and I'll do what you should have did 10 minutes ago."
Oh.
Which is what the prisoner says to like the guard.
Yeah,
I think like the
so,
warden or the guard. And this dialogue was so unexpected to me.
Me too.
Like when like he first got the remote, I was like, oh, he's gonna push it. There's no way he's gonna like not do it. And like the fact that he threw it away and he said this, it was like I didn't expect him to be the one doing it, especially because from the start of the boat scene, we had like camera moving to him and show him as this a really intimidating big person, and like there was a built suspense around him. So I thought he would be like the one who tries to grab it or like kill people or anything, but it was just like and I feel like it's a really heartbreaking dialogue and it's like very eye-opening to see that the prisoner is the one who is throwing the remote away, not the guard, not the police, the prisoner. And again, like I feel like this goes along with our thoughts on Shawshank and how we view prisoners as people.
For sure.
So that was really interesting. And the last dialogue that I chose is that he's not our hero, he's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. I feel like this just perfectly wrapped up Batman's character and the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah.
Because we see that they say that, oh, he's the hero that Gotham like needs, but it's not the one it deserves, but it's not the one that it needs right now. And a lot of time Harvey is the one who's known as the big hero, even though he ends up committing horrible actions, which is, I mean, if you look at his backstory, it's very understandable why he did those things. So it's not justified, but it is understandable to see where he's coming from. So I feel like that was a really good wrap for Batman's character and a really nice way to end the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And for the acting, I just want to say everybody in the movie gave such a good performance.
Yeah, totally.
Like Heath Ledger as Joker, like his little like characteristics and like the way he like moved his face and like the actions and his body language, it was just perfect. And it really made Joker seem creepy to me. And for Batman, like it was like I loved how it was Batman and Bruce Wayne. You could definitely see them as two different characters because of like the dark contrast between them. Like Batman was so much more moodier and like moodier, and he was just like so much more dark. and determined, while like Bruce Wayne was this like playboy who like joked around and had fun.
Yeah.
So Christian Bale's performance was really good on that.
Yeah.
And then also Harvey, the acting was really good, especially when he kind of turned into Two-Face, I would say. And we see him going through his moral dilemma and have this emotional outburst.
Okay, so I think the dialogue you have chosen is really good. And now I want to talk about my element of narrative, which I chose to do as a physical appearance. And I feel like over the course of the movie, we saw a lot of good costumes and makeup.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Overall, like the physical appearance of each character was really, really well fitting to the movie and the plot. And so to quickly go over each of them, I feel like the Batman or even the Bruce Wayne itself, there were like those two character honestly like was such a big huge difference between them. Batman, like his like black suit, which is like really heavily armed, with like a distinctive bat symbol on the chest. I feel like it's such a like a mysterious, nice costume to put on. Like even with the fact that like there's like a little mask that he wears that so that he doesn't like get revealed, right? It just like gives much more suspense, right? Like okay, like he's a hero, but he doesn't want to be shown to the public. Like he doesn't need any honors from people like as he is, but he just wants to remain as a Batman, like a mysterious one. So I thought it was really interesting. Do you want to add something
small that I really want to add is that you talked about his mask, right? One thing that I really liked is that the mask actually covered his face. Like if you saw him with the mask, you couldn't tell who he was.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times in superhero movies, they just put like an eye cover on, and it's like a mask, and you still can tell who the person is. So I really liked how the mask fully changes like facial feature.
Yeah, for sure. And also the fact that like in the beginning of the movie we see like those like a fake Batman ones. Like even though like honestly like at first I couldn't really tell which one is which.
Too.
Like it was so identical, but still even with the suit on, we know like the real one is the real one, right? And I thought it was really interesting. And Bruce Wayne itself also, like with the suit and everything, like a very formal suit, he really does play like a good character of the playboy. Like I just know how to spend money and play with the girls, right? And I thought it was really, really well fitting with his characteristics itself.
For sure.
Yeah, and also Joker, very iconic, I should say. His like I don't know, his weirdly dyed hair color itself really, really gives like I feel like it's just adds to the character so well. And like we see throughout the movie, especially in the scene where he is held up and gets to custody, and then Batman like tries to integrate him. Like in there, his makeup is really like it's so cakey and it's about to like fall off. And like afterwards, he like when he's like shot like he gets out and then does another things and stuff. His makeup is so well again. So I like those little details. I feel like it makes a huge difference in the audience seeing the movie, right? It's such a like a realistic symbol to it, and I really enjoyed it. And I feel like I guess like especially with the Joker, like the very strong, vibrant colors that he has on him definitely connects to the very strong characteristics and I should say like a trait that he owns. So honestly, like while watching, like it was such a like fun little thing. I mean, he does so much bad things.
It's fun like, to watch.
It's so fun to watch, and like honestly, right? Like I also am really scared of clowns myself. I do have a phobia, but I'm okay with like the media clowns, right?
Like in real life.
Yeah, like it's just that like I'm scared of them in real life. So like honestly, with the Joker, I had so much fun watching him, and the little like moves he does, right? Definitely adds to like the whole movie, like ties them up. So I really liked it.
Adding something to what you said about his like the suit that he wears and the purple green vibe that he has going on, I feel like first of all it really contrasts Batman's all dark, black wife.
I think so
which
too.
shows, and I feel like it reflects their personality.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Batman is so much more serious and in himself, and like he has a goal and he's determined, and he's very dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
Well, Joker is very much in your face, unpredictable. Yeah. Like it's always he's always on the go. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, and then like you said, I feel like the thing is that like when we think of a typical villain, we always think that are like wearing somewhat like the black dark suits and stuff, but like all of a sudden like Batman is wearing such a dark clothes, but then like we have Joker right here wearing like the green purple, and I'm like, but then the thing is that even with those things on, he always has a very terrible arms and weapons that he owns. So I guess that definitely also is like a good part of the physical appearance he has. And our also another iconic character, I should say, is Harvey.
Yeah.
I feel like in the beginning where like you said, we never thought he would play that much a big role, right? He just is like always next to Rachel wearing this nice suit.
I thought it was just gonna be eye candy.
Me too. Me too. Like honestly, right? Like it's just like him in a suit, very clean suit, I should say. Like definitely reflects on his job, his which is the
district attorney.
Yeah, the district attorney. And I feel like in there we just see him, oh yeah, he's like a really nice clean character, but then after the tragic event, like where half of his face becomes really severely like burned, and like we do not recognize him ever again, I'm just like, without anything, like honestly, I did not pay attention to the half of his body.
No.
I can only look at his face.
I cannot remember a single thing he wore.
Me too.
Because I kept getting distracted by the face.
Yeah, like honestly, all I remember after the incident is him in like a hospital uniform, and after I don't even remember if he was in a casual outfit or a suit outfit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because his burned face was so iconic to me.
Yeah.
It was so realistic, and it's so scary, right?
It was, and I was like, in my head, at first I thought he wouldn't be able to talk.
Me too.
And then he started talking, and we could see like he didn't have skin. He barely had any muscles, and it still moved.
I know, it's so weird, and like the fact that he drank too with that face, honestly shocked me. Like, is that even possible? I mean, I guess somehow, but like, it's so terrifying. Honestly, if I saw that like when I was like younger, I feel like I would get so terrified, like because he's scarier than Joker.
No, his face is definitely scarier than Joker. Because like the Joker's like from his lips, it's like covered by makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can barely see anything. But his face is like out.
Yeah, it's so terrifying to me.
And his face made me realize I could never be a doctor for that exact reason.
No. So I guess like for when it comes to Harvey, it's more than like the outfit, like the other characters. His face, that little half part, really stood out to me, and that's like all we can think about now, right? So,
and I think it's also very ironic and like a tragedy that he comes out of it and then his face burns.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we get this hope that he's out, like he's safe at least. Yeah. And we still don't know if Rachel has died or not. Yeah. But then, like, his face gets burned. That was so sad.
I think so, too. I totally agree. So, yeah, definitely when we see this movie, Harvey's physical appearance is definitely something that, like, stands out the most, I feel like. Yeah. And then, lastly, I want to talk about Alfred. He's a really sweet little old man. I really liked his character. If you don't know, he actually served as Bruce Wayne's loyal butler. And so lastly, I want to quickly talk about the character Alfred. So when we look at his physical appearance, I feel like he's always in a very nice looking suit. He wears some long coats too, I think, in the movie. And his outfit is always, I mean, it definitely gives the vibe of a loyal butler, right? And really matches his characteristic really well. And I think honestly, right, like I don't think there's any really distinct traits that we take out from that man, but we know that like as a physical appearance, we know that he's an old man. I guess like by the comments or the dialogue in the movie, we also can see that he's a very sweet old man. So I think throughout the movie, just the fact that he's wearing always wearing very clean, nice looking outfits, and like the gray hair that he has on. I don't know. I don't really know if there's anything I can add to those things. Do you remember any?
I think for Alfred, he's the only character that we always see him in a suit, and he's like always dressed up and very clean cut. And I think that it shows that out of all of the characters in the show, in the movie, he's the most secure about himself, and he's like the most put together. Even Harvey, the scene after Rachel's death, he's like wearing kind of more of a casual outfit, and his hair looks messy. But Alfred is the one person that always looks nice.
Very formal.
Very formal, put together, and nice. I think that shows how he's one of the only characters that like he's very secure in himself. He knows what he's doing, and he's kind of past that age. Where like he's in doubt or he has moral dilemmas.
I guess he's a very protected person, right? In the movie. So that was it for our element of narrative. So Okay, so to wrap up, let's talk about our ratings. What do you want to rate it as?
I'm gonna rate this movie a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it had really good points in it. I liked how it was very character driven. I enjoyed the characters of. I enjoyed basically all of the characters besides Rachel. I am a Rachel hater.
Me too.
I specifically loved Joker, Harvey, and Bruce Wayne. I loved looking at Bruce Wayne.
He was really nice looking.
And then, I really liked it. I feel like there were so many good elements to the movie. I love the directing, and overall it was very nice. And for me, it would like be right below Shawshank.
Okay, for me, I really also enjoyed it, so I would rank it as 4.9 out of 5. I would also, like you said, rank it right below Shawshank. Honestly, it was among all of the movies, this movie just had so much suspense and action scenes that I enjoyed, especially between Joker and Batman. And like we said, really loved the character of Harvey Dent and his changes and transformations throughout the movie. So honestly, like I really enjoyed it. So I would have loved that we gave better reviews on this one, but we just
review was a little to film.
It was just so hard. But anyway, to just overall like summarize, we really enjoyed the movie. And,
for sure.
All of the little elements and little details the movie held. So it was really good. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with another movie review.
Bye.
Bye.